Internet 7 Nobody and I had a nice long chat over the nothing at the beginning of the universe. We both agreed that the universe most likely had a beginning. However, we differed on how the beginning was triggered. This was a case of my philosophical nothing, and that nothing is something, exemplified in quantum fluctuations from this nothing, and his literal nothing, meaning that there had to have been a creator to create something from this nothing. Although this seems to be like a simple theist-atheist debate at this point, it surely isn't, as we both understood both sides of the argument, and accepted that both sides could be true, because we realized that when we got to the core, both are mere beliefs. One is based on mathematical theories, such as quantum mechanics, string M theory, etc., and another based on the premise that God exemplifies the same attributes as described in the mathematical theories, that perhaps these theories are mere snapshots of the big picture, like identifying individual cells in the body. That provides a problem in deciding which is more logical, because they are both equally logical. I argue that although both are logical, one is based on evidence from the observable, and that if there is no evidence to support a God, the possibility of it actually existing are there, but very slim. He retaliated that if God has the unphysical properties of the individual mathematical theories stated, then unless he causes something very unusual that we can observe, then there would be no way for us to know his true properties, because he isn't physical. He agreed with me that all discussion within this topic leads to, quote, an infinite regress. He stated that there is no need to ask for an explanation if the original explanation is sufficient in itself, meaning that both the math theories and the possibility of God is self-justifying. One of his responses was similar to Carl Sagan's reasoning, that if the universe can exist infinitely without the creation, then God should be able to as well, and vice versa. I responded that all arguments to support any God could be applied to anything that does not exist, whether it be a 30-headed pig or 20-ton ant, but he remained firm about the concept that God can still remain undetected. Our debates could have gone on forever, because as we argue to the core of our beliefs, both of our existence theories are built on something timeless that could have created the Big Bang from nothing, whether it be literal or philosophical, because whether or not there was a God, there had to have been something that set off the Big Bang, because we've already determined that the universe was not eternal, as also explained in the quantum fluctuations theory, string theory, etc., that told of multiple universes, each with its own laws. Perhaps the source material that triggered the Big Bang is from quantum fluctuations and nothing, or perhaps this trigger was from an unphysical God. But because both of our arguments are logical to a degree, there isn't a clear winner. While one has limited evidence only from the limited observable and limited senses, the other requires action from a God that possibly exists and may never decide to show himself. So while both arguments are logical, like in many standardized tests, at this point we just have to continue researching and see whether or not new research still correlates to both sides being logical, as it is now. This is my opinion and my opinion only, but although both make sense, if a mother saw candy wrappers in a trash can and asked her two siblings who took candy from the candy jar, wouldn't you think she'd believe the one with evidence, even though both provided good reasons? It doesn't mean that the one with the evidence did not take the candy, but it is more likely that he did not. To reiterate, Whatever triggered the Big Bang, whether it be quantum fluctuations or God, does not appear to be something physical. Well, that's just gist of our debate. It's a lot out of order, and I may have misinterpreted some details, since YouTube does not properly keep track of the comments. But it's essentially what we've been discussing for about 3 hours or so. Anyways, if you want to read it for yourself, you can check out my Common Christian Arguments video page. Just to be clear on the sides in this discussion, I am an atheist, and Internet 7 Nobody is, I think, to be a deist. And we had a long but civil debate, and I learned a lot from it. It seems that the agnostics, atheists, and deists share a binding belief that there is no evidence to support any sort of God. And if there is a God, he is either long gone or doesn't exist in the first place. It's like how Christians have Baptist, Presbyterian, and Methodist. It's the same foundational belief, but with some very noticeable differences. Anyways, thanks to all my subscribers, and I hope you enjoy our debate.